YouTube, we're talking about the fat one. Let's go.
Reaction to this. It looked like me and Shaq.
Oh my God, I mean, off rip frame one. No.
I found myself watching the Cavs-Pelicans game this past week and realized, wow, I really have not watched many Pelicans games. Yes, they're a team that sucks, but last year they were an exciting team that sucked. For one, Brandon Ingram didn't play this game, but he's been playing games and it's not been pretty. Alonzo's on the Bulls on a team that will actually run the fast break. And there's someone else that I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, Zion.
Hey.
He's actually on this team. Apart from all the weight jokes, Zion has been off the radar. And at this point, it's his own fault. That could cost him a lot. What is up, dudes, cadets, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. Drop a like for the 2019 draft class. Ja, Garland, Tyler Hero, Thibault, Jordan Poole, KPJ. They're doing their thing.
Hey, that's a solid draft class, bro.
Hey, I don't know about y'all. Look, I'm not saying 03. That's the cool kids draft class. No bullshit. That's the cool kids draft class.
To the 84% of y'all that ain't subscribed, let's get back to Zion's career field goal percentage at...
Now, I ain't say Zion ain't good. Before we get into anything, I ain't say he suck. I don't know where some of y'all going out there saying Zion not good at basketball. Oh, Zion's amazing at basketball. He's a bit fat, but he's amazing at basketball.
Also, who do you think was snubbed from the All-Star teams? Let me know in the comments down below. Zion Williamson was an All-Star in his second season last year, averaging 27 points on 61% from the field, 4th in PR in the league. Players were bouncing off of him.
Those are crazy numbers.
The NBA has always been a players' league. Former Commissioner David Stern made a decision in the 80s to market players to pivot away from the fighting, which was tanking the league.
He didn't hit him. What you know about
JoJo? They promoted Bird and Magic, and from there they have always chosen players to promote, more than teams, which is the route the NFL chose. It's been Kobe versus the Big Three, LeBron versus Kawhi, Harden versus Curry, Curry versus LeBron. So the Michael Jordans, the Shaqs, Kobe, LeBron, all got chosen. That also includes young players like Ben Simmons, Alonzo. Remember when your timeline was just filled with LaMelo highlights?
We see the pass in from LaMelo! Oh, it's done nice! Oh, any player cannot do that, man.
No suck. RDC got S tier content, bro. No suck. Brand. Oh, I didn't even pause it. Cool. Yeah, nah. RDC content, S tier. I ain't gonna lie.
S tier content. Yo, let me know in the comment section chat if y'all remember Ali Productions.
Okay, Benjamin.
Crazy. I'm out. Yo, Stage, I'm showing my age out here, man. Oh my God. Call me Pops while you at it. Like, dang.
Fuck no.
And so was Zion. Man had already signed an 8-figure shoe deal before playing his first NBA game. His popularity was only comparable to a young LeBron. So that, paired with his actual success in the NBA, put Zion on a pedestal in his second year.
I need people to remember how good Zion was, because in a very short amount of time, people have forgotten how hyped up Zion was going into his draft. Zion going into the NBA was like the most surefire thing anyone could ever bet on, because like you look at him at Duke and it's like, yo, how can he not succeed? He's 6'7", crazy athleticism, actually really good on defense for those who don't remember at Duke, and then offensively, who the f can stop him in the paint? He's a highlight reel. Like, he had a little bit of a J. It looked like he had the mechanics to develop into, little pick and pop action type shit. Great, great personality, very marketable. Zion was it. Like LeBron level hype, for real. Ever since LeBron, I would say Zion is the next guy that deadass had the closest thing to LeBron hype. But in a very short amount of time because of injuries, which I think MJ will get into, we just haven't seen him on the court. And when he's off the court, it looks like he's not doing much, to be in the greatest shape possible. And even in the first season he was in, I believe it was the bubble season, you could tell that, like, that wasn't the Zion we thought going into the NBA draft. Defensively, specifically, that was not the Zion we thought. He was huffing and puffing during the bubble. Like, it was a really big concern.
All bits aside, when I do the Zion fat thing, obviously, like, he big, but, like, I don't care if he was actually fat. If he could play, he could play. The issue is he's too big for what he's trying to do. Like, he's just not in shape. Like, he's not in basketball shape. Like, in terms of being, like, it's no fat phobia on stage. In terms of being an NBA player, he's fat. he's just too big. But the dude's an amazing talent, as B Souls was saying, man. Dude had like what 27 on 65 true shooting last year. Different breed, bro. Different breed, bro.
Zion fell for it himself. He was drinking his own Kool-Aid. Zion wanted the Pelicans to keep JJ Redick, and they didn't, even though they're part of the same agency, and even though Zion really liked JJ as his vet. The Pelicans let Lonzo go, even though he was a restricted free agent, and Zion was very public about wanting to keep Zoe. And now Zoe's on a team that will actually run the fast break. Last summer, rumors came out that Zion's family members wanted him out of New Orleans and onto another team. Now, that could have been his family members just talking, but that also could have been Zion using his family members as a proxy to get some trade rumors out. The power he thought he had in his second year just wasn't there yet. It's hard to go from zero to hero and then go back to zero when you make the NBA. Have to get back to the top all over again. David Griffin, the Pelicans GM, has tried to make a relationship with Zion by playing him the piano?
No way.
What the fuck? That can't be real.
That's cap, right?
That can't be real, bro.
Imagine Zion pulls up the practice and he hears fucking furry lease or what's this shit called, bro? Oh man.
I'm thinking of A Star Is Born. In the shallow. Shallow. Fucking David Griffin and Zion. That's nasty, bro. That's nasty.
Said he loves in New Orleans and doesn't want to be anywhere else, even though all the coaches wouldn't run the fast break.
You're stupid.
So much ado about nothing.
Yo, you see
right?
that camera?
Zion was bordering the lines of freak of nature and overweight. Being 285 pounds and jumping that high, moving that fast, just didn't seem possible, especially for those knees. It made him unstoppable. That field goal percentage can attest to that. Zion literally averaged the most points in the paint per game since Shaq. But pair that with this walk, and longevity-wise, we knew that he needs to lose weight or figure something out. And so began the saga. Zion got hurt in the offseason and had surgery to repair a fractured right foot. Fractured foot usually means weight gain because you're not doing too much movement, and in Zion's case, it got real bad.
I am perplexed. What happened?
Now, I'm not here to fat shame him, but this weight gain continued. He's now a reported 330 pounds. This is more than the typical 10 to 20 pounds of weight that you gain because of an injury. We're talking about 45 pounds of extra weight, and that extra weight won't help recovery. So why have it spiral out of control if you're trying to get back on the court as soon as possible, especially in the middle of the season when your team obviously needs you? On November 26th, the Pelicans said that he had been cleared to participate in full team activities, but literally less than a week later, saying he had soreness in his foot and they had to reevaluate him. Zion could choose to control his weight. He has all the resources available to him: nutritionists, chefs, physical therapists, trainers. But why? Zion's going to get a max extension. The Pelicans will still suck even with him. Zion may want out of New Orleans, but he doesn't really have any power to do so. While we have seen NBA stars force their way out with the threat of not re-signing, like Harden, Paul George, LeBron, AD, Zion does not have the same leverage. He hasn't signed his first major contract. He has no leverage to force the organization into doing anything he wants, except maybe him actually playing. Zion knows that he's guaranteed money. He's gonna get that rookie max extension. He knows the Pelicans aren't good with or without him. The drive just doesn't seem as high as before. And then keep in mind all the problems that he's had with the Pelicans organization since he's been there. That he never wanted to be drafted by them. That he had a problem with the way they handled his return back to the court. The free agent signings, the people they let go. Something's off, but I can't definitively say. That's only for Zion to know and possibly publicly state.
I will say this, I think there's accountability to be held on both sides. I don't want it to come off that we're all blaming Zion for, not being in shape. But at the same time, he does need to be held accountable. Like, deadass, like MJ said, you are making, what, $10 million a year or some shit like that? You have access to the best trainers in the world, not in the country, in the world, the best trainers, best nutritionists, and you are getting paid to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's not like me where I'm getting paid to talk about basketball, but like I'm not being paid to be athletic. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being paid to perform at an extremely high level. So Zion does deserve blame for that, but at the same time, The New Orleans Pelicans organization, they have made so many bad moves. So many bad moves. Again, why would you let go of Lonzo? Every time I think of a perfect fit with Zion, a guy that can run down the court, one of the best lob threats we've ever seen already, I would think that a guy that excels tremendously in the transition will be the perfect pairing. And that's what Lonzo is. He can also space the floor. So if you want to give Zion post touches, pass out to Lonzo, and he'll knock down the three. Why would you let go of that? And he can play defense. Why the fuck would you let go of that? Same timeline as well. Even the fact that they had Steven Adams with Zion. Why? Like, what the fuck? Why? What the fuck? Give him spacing. And even with the Lonzo shit, when Lonzo was there, you're running Eric Bledsoe and Lonzo in the backcourt at the same time. That makes zero sense. So there's accountability on both sides. I don't know if you have anything else to say, Sage.
Nah, I pretty much agree. I don't even want to drag it for real. It's just Pelicans are stupid, man. like that's what I'm saying. Like I make all the Zion fat jokes I want. At the end of the day, it's 100% neutral. Zion could obviously do better, but you could make Zion want to do better. Zion has no incentivization. I hope I got the word right. It's late at night. But there's no reason if I'm Zion that I want to come back. You know, like I want to come back to CJ McCollum now. Granted, this video was before that, but now it's CJ and BI. Oh, yeah, playing. Like, all right. We'll go in and go home, bro. And you're probably going to fuck that up too.
Perhaps worst of all, for Zion's image, Ja Morant has been leading the Grizzlies to the playoffs every year since he's been drafted. Even though the Grizzlies weren't even that good. Now he's even in MVP talks, the third best record in the West. Ja has never complained, even when he's gotten hurt. He's gotten better each year, and so have the Grizzlies. Zion can't escape the comparisons because that's his draft. He was the #1 pick, Ja was #2. These are reputation things. It leaks into what teammates think of him, what organizations think of him. And if they start thinking that Zion only thinks about himself and is selfish in his 3rd year in the league, yeah, that's a problem. So Zion, the star NBA headliner, has fallen. Availability is huge, and he has gone well past the timeline for recovery. It's not too late for Zion to come back and dominate, but if it is true that Zion has lost his drive, that would be the biggest problem. I mean, if you were guaranteed $100 million over the next 5 years, would you ever work again? The best NBA players, they are. Motivation and drive for the game is everything to be successful. But it also could be that he wants to leave the Pelicans and just not play for them. And if that's the case, I feel like he's gotta pay his dues and stop drinking his own Kool-Aid.
Yo, you know what? If it's too early, it's too early. Fuck it. I've gotten this criticism before. Bus talk, man. I don't know. Sage, let's get down to business. Listen. I mentioned this on a prior video. Let's say hypothetically, LeBron, with all the hype he had, ended up being a 2 to 3 time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA. In my opinion, that's a crazy disappointment from what we all know he ended up being. Zion Williamson, let's be honest, maybe not as high as expectations, but very similar. Face of the NBA, he's the next up, he's box office. Missing out on him would be the mistake of your life. Here we are 3 years into his career, and now, they should have drafted Ja. Here we are 3 years into his career, and we're questioning his drive, and he needs to be incentivized to play basketball. This is supposed to be the next guy up. So I'm telling you right now, if Zion Williamson, and there's still a lot of time left, so if he ends up proving me wrong, I'm still not wrong with making, this judgment right now. But if he does end up just being a 2 to 3 time All-Star, we can push it to 4. Even if his prime was 27-9 on 60% shooting, I'm telling you right now, to me, he's a bust.
I have the simple man definition of a bust, meaning you fall extremely short of expectations. If you're the chosen one of the NBA, you don't get a ring or even just play, or should I say, or you don't play, you don't win, you are only a handful of times all-star appearances, especially if it's only like 1 or 2. Yeah, I would label him that. I don't think that's the road nor future that Zion has. I think Zion will inevitably finally get the drive back. I just don't think it's in New Orleans. And I think, unfortunately, he's stuck there. As MJ was saying, there's no power. He has no leverage. The same way I was telling people, Ben Simmons don't have no fucking leverage. Zion really don't have no leverage. So he's going to accept that for now. He needs to tee up, though, because it's going to look like people are going to say retire in a minute, the same way they were trying to do the shit with Kyrie for his off-the-court reasons. But if Zion just looks like he doesn't give a fuck, keeps gaining this massive weight, I don't know if the 330-pound article was true, but if that's true and he's all the way up to 330, you understand that's like rivaling Shaq, right? Like 6'7" Shaquille O'Neal body. I was gonna pause it earlier in the video. When you're jumping that high, you're jumping 40 inches off the ground and landing on your knee, that's not tough. Like that is actually not tough. Like, while it's impressive to see, I know it's highlights. I know he's good. If these were live games, if we were watching a live game right now, I'd be concerned every time he's doing this shit. Cause something ain't right, bro. So God forbid it to be true, whether it's injury, lack of drive, or just straight up he's not as good, but I don't think that's an option. But if he was to only capture 1 or 2, yeah, he'd be a bust to me. But I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I think it's just he ain't gonna do shit while he in New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, chat. Please don't. I definitely do want the best for him. Like, for real. I was on the Zion bandwagon at Duke. I mean, I guess you could say that. No, the bandwagon was already there. I deadass, like, want the best for him, for real. He's an extremely talented player. And to me, going into the draft, I thought he was like a once-in-a-generation type of player. So why would I not want that to happen? You know what I'm saying? I mean, he does seem like a good guy. That was one of the main things that, like, drew me to him, was the fact that he had a great personality as well. That's why he's in my top 5. I don't know. But I'm wishing him the best, though, for real. But at the same token, we have to have these conversations at some point, and I'm just hinting at it, man. I'm just, you know me, I like to, you know what I'm saying, ruffle the feathers a little bit.
We've pushed the dislike button. You can't see it. You know what's fucked up? We really can't see it. But like that's crazy.
I deadass tried to look for it, and I'm like, where is it?
You can't, we can't, nobody can. It's crazy. But you can't see it. But we've disliked your video, Benjamin. We're commenting below. We're going on you. We're going on the other guy too, the Durag boy.
Oh my God.
You don't like this channel. We're unsubscribing, but we love Zion. Well, that's gonna do it for today's video. It's been with TSO Sage and my brother Benjamin. Click this video for something. I don't know. Our editor's gonna figure it out. And you guys have a great one. Take care and stay blessed. And Zion, get hit the weight room because you're supposed to be a dog.